had a customer bring this car to me after a local place that I believe they're a national chain. It's not Midas or Meineke or any of those. Um, but anyway, they quoted him $1,500 for, I believe it was two rear calipers and then brakes all the way around, and it might have been something else. But anyway, the total came to $1,500. Um, and I told him, that seems highly unlikely. That you need all of that work done. Just bring it to me. I test drove it, and I didn't really notice anything. Um, but he said there was a noise that they were noticing. So I checked all the calipers. I checked all the brake pads and rotors, and everything seemed uniform. There wasn't any unusual wear on one side versus the other. Um, I know the front were within spec. The rotors, I'll have to check the back, the measurements against spec. But anyway, um, long story short, the rear passenger wheel had some crud, some, just rust and whatever else debris around the where the brake pads are and on the caliper. And there was I just cleaned that off, and the metal, the brake shims, the what am I trying to say? The clips were bent inward just a little bit to where I suppose they could have scratched the rotor. Um, that's my best guess of what was happening, of what they were hearing. So I bent them back into place like they should be, and then I just used a lot of brake cleaner and a wire brush and cleaned up the caliper really well, cleaned up the bracket really well, um, lubricated the slide pins and lubricated the brake pad and cleaned it up really well. And I didn't notice that metal on metal noise anymore, because before, when I first took the wheel off, I noticed the metal on metal as I like once per revolution of the wheel as I took the wheel off. And then after cleaning it all up, I didn't notice that anymore. So, and I drove it around, and it sounds great. It stops on a dime. So I think this solved their problem. Um, I think that's what they were hearing, and I think it might. They said something about it might have been just causing an ungodly noise, a lot of noise, and so they were scared, and they went to that place and they tried to, um, you know, sell them $1,500 worth of services, parts that they don't need. And that's the thing that really bothers me. I've had that happen before with a local plumbing company. Long story short, we had some macaroni noodles or spaghetti noodles get in the elbow of the sink, the elbow trap, the P trap, and my wife, before I got the chance to come out and fix it, um, she called a plumbing company and they gave her three estimates. I think the first of which was like $200, the third of which was $972, I believe, and that was for like all new pipes for that sink and I think the sewer vent and all of that stuff. So if I could figure it out pretty quickly that it was just those noodles that were jammed in the P trap, how much more likely were they to know that that was the problem? And they didn't want to solve the problem. Instead, they wanted to sell their parts and labor and just make a buck off of someone and cause someone a lot of financial suffering. When they could have, I would have been happy if they charged us, $100 or whatever to come out and do that. That's good money and that's honest. If they could just come out and fix the problem and actually be honest about what it is and not throw unnecessary parts and labor behind it. It's the same way with cars. Um, it's just really disgusting to think that this place could have taken them for $1,500